No, fuck. Here we go. You know it's about to be a serious video when I've changed the comforter on my bed? Yeah, that super pivotal piece of CaliberJacob lore you didn't know existed, it's gone. That's how you know we're in a new year. Watch me take the old one and sell it as an NFT. 2022 is, here. And I'm kind of having trouble reconciling that because I still feel like some memories that I have of early 2020 are just as fresh is.
It's time to...
The fact that that stuff still feels kind of recent just makes it feel like this time bubble that we've been in since the pandemic started is still probably doing a number on my psyche a bit. But it's also because the back half of 2021 flew by way faster than it had any right to. Spontaneous trip to Vegas, Mexico, working in LA twice, back to Vegas, Pacific Northwest for the holidays. Travel and work picking up from June onward last year made it seem like time was accelerating quicker than it actually was. But on the flip side of that, the days that I would spend in bed feeling trapped and feeling like I couldn't move made it seem like the world had instead slowed down. I readily admit, based on how 2021 went, that I could have some anxiety issue that I've not really addressed before. It's not gonna lie, kind of a scary thing to admit out loud, but I did learn a long time ago that airing stuff like this publicly, for me, has proved to be an effective method of making sure certain things can't stay trapped in the back of my mind. At multiple points last year, my thoughts for a whole day would just turn into a whirlwind and would cripple me in some way or another until I went to sleep. Sometimes it would mean I just wouldn't get any work done, which is why sometimes you'd see a long stretch without there being any YouTube uploads or Twitch streams. But sometimes I'd succumb to a voice in the back of my head telling me to stay in bed and off the internet because I'd already lost. Not fun! I've talked about this with family and with my closest friends, so it's not like I'm just gonna leave this kind of thing totally unaddressed, but whatever I was feeling affected enough days last year to kill my productivity, my motivation, more than I like. When I started getting broadcast jobs, I did not want that to stall YouTube channel growth, but a year later, I sadly see that my focus has shifted to almost exclusively commentary, with YouTube kind of being done as a side thing every once in a while whenever I feel like it, and that's not what I intended. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for my mental health sometimes turning me into a vegetable some days, but I'm sorry for promising a lot and delivering on very little. Remember that update video that I did last summer where I mentioned, don't talk about what you're gonna do, just do it. As soon as I said that, it was met by a resounding lack of me moving in that direction. So for a lot of the holiday break for this year, I've been thinking, how do we get back on track? The first thing that I want to do is begin growing this channel again. Doing this for 2 years and seeing analytics slowly stagnate, for me, has really sucked. But I want to revamp this channel, try some new things out, and start hitting milestones again. The old worn-out trope of analytics don't matter is a nice one in theory, but a pretty terrible one in practice, and I think a lot of creators can tell you the same. I don't even know if I can technically consider myself a creator, mostly because I have a really small fan base for something that's really niche in a game that's struggling at the moment, but I'm still want to take this as seriously as I meant to all those years ago and prove that I can turn this into something big. So if I can use something like, say, my subscriber count as a progress bar to see how well my work is doing, then I intend to make full use of that. The second thing is going back to what worked, in a sense. I know I said I didn't really want to be the Siege esports news guy, so to speak, but I like making what I make because it generates discussion and it gets people talking about whatever the subject matter for that video might be. And ultimately, the less videos I produced meant that there wasn't as much space for that discussion to flourish, which I think was a backwards move on my part with all of this time in hindsight. So to that end, we're gonna bring current event videos back in the new year. We're talking roster shuffle, hot talking points, and so on, and I want to find ways to include you and your thoughts more in the conversation. I don't totally know what this will look like yet. I've pondered doing additional videos that is nothing but like reading through comments, answering questions, maybe doing specific live streams after some videos go up in order to really like hone in on said discussion. It's still very not fleshed out, but I'm still thinking about ways that we can do that heading into the next year. And this is going to be on top of the interviews, the predictions, the reviews, and all of the other stuff that we did throughout 2021. The third thing is finally building up a consistent Twitch presence. I talk about this a lot, and I'm sure some of you here who aren't that regular on Twitch probably get sick of me talking about it sometimes, but it's a part of content creation I've always wanted to expand into, but never really given it proper attention. Right now, I'm thinking 3 to 4 days a week around 1 p.m. PST and lasting for around 4 to 5 hours. Not just boring old gameplay, but we'll find ways to turn the old, tried and true Siege gameplay loop and turn it into something a little bit more engaging. Plus, we'll talk about the esports side of things because most of the people who come over from Twitch always have questions about when does Boldo play? How do you think Empire is going to do? And we're going to keep that exact same thing going on Twitch because that stuff is fun. Thing is, to grow on Twitch, it's kind of difficult, so you have to do it from other platforms. So I've had the idea of making a TikTok account for a while and just using that to post clips and stuff. I don't know if I want to dive into that hellhole yet, but the account exists. It's here. But I don't know, I'm very on the fence about whether I actually want to start using it. Now, all 3 of these goals that I just mentioned, they all fit into a work bubble, which for me isn't the only thing that I live for. Outside of what you see from me on socials, I'm still going to be commentating Rainbow Six Siege whenever there's work. I'm going to do a better job prioritizing time away from my PC so I don't feel as burnt out as I did last year. I'm restarting my weight loss journey as my own little New Year's resolution to myself, which you might think New Year's resolutions don't work, but I didn't drink a single energy drink for all of 2021, and that included doing a major. So as far as I'm concerned, if you've got the willpower, you can do anything. I'm going to take time to see more friends in person now that COVID allows for it, look for better uses of my time than just sitting around doing nothing for hours on end, and I'm hoping that by keeping busy and working towards all of these goals, I can keep those mental demons that I had last year at bay just a little bit better while still producing quality work about a game and a scene that I love. Thank you all for your patience and your kindness during 2021. I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that 2022 is a much more fulfilling year. So go follow the socials if you haven't already, subscribe here if you're new, and let me know if there's anything in particular that you think would make for good content heading into the new year. I want you to be more of a part of this than you were prior. So tell me what you think. I guess that's it. Welcome to the new year. I'll see you later. Peace.